How long does a mesothelioma case take? I'm Joe Williams. I'm a mesothelioma trial attorney in New York City. And in order to answer this question, we need to learn a little bit about how the court system deals with mesothelioma victims' cases. Now, many states have what is called an expedited docket. And some states call it a rocket docket. In New York, it's called an in extremis docket. But the primary focus is that the cases for mesothelioma victims move quicker. A normal civil case can take 5 years. We hear of circumstances where a case takes 9 or 10 years in a civil case. A mesothelioma case in New York can take 1 year. New York has what's called the New York City asbestos litigation. And there are certain criteria for a mesothelioma or late-stage lung cancer victim's case, which, if the victim's case meets these criteria, it can be accepted by the court into this expedited trial clustering. The first is the medical criteria. Now, mesothelioma cases generally qualify. So if someone has a pathological diagnosis, a confirmed diagnosis of mesothelioma, generally in New York, that case will qualify for the in extremis or fast-tracked docket. Now, lung cancer cases, if they are later stage, that is stage 3 and stage 4 lung cancer cases, those cases can fit the medical criteria as well. There's also another criteria to fit into the fast track grouping, and that is that there must be New York City exposure to asbestos. Exposure to asbestos that is significant under the court's guidelines within the 5 boroughs of New York City. Now, there's no bright line test to this, and the court reviews each case on a case-by-case basis, but there has to be a substantial exposure within the 5 boroughs of New York City in order for a case to qualify under the New York City asbestos litigation in extremis docket. Now, these in extremis cases, once a case is accepted into the grouping, they're clustered twice per year. There's a cluster that forms in the spring of the year, and one that forms in the fall of the year. And once the court accepts a case into that clustering, the intent of the court system is to go to trial really within 1 year. And that's an incredibly strong point of leverage for a victim of mesothelioma to prosecute their case in an expedited way, because these victims are suffering and they have a right to a fast trial and to have their day in court to talk about their exposures to asbestos. Now, I'm sure you have other questions about the time frame involved in prosecuting a mesothelioma case in New York or in other states, and I can answer your questions. I'm Joe Williams, and at our office, we handle cases for mesothelioma victims every day. I encourage you to call the number on your screen. That's our office number, and we'll answer your questions. Thank you for watching.